Hi, I'm Peter P.T. Townend. Not only am I the first world surfing champ, but I love this sport right here in Huntington Beach. We're going to celebrate the sport, its culture, lifestyle, and the amazing surfers that came before and after me that hit the waves around the world, including here in Surf City. We're going to share the PT collection with you on Surf Scene.
Welcome everybody from the Huntington Beach International Surfing Museum. My name is Dave Reynolds. This is Natalie Kotsch's daughter,
Julie Holson.
We welcome you all there. We're stoked that you came out to see the unveiling of the plaque for Natalie's bust. So before we go any further, I have to tell my story about why I went out of my way to make sure that this happened. Okay. October in 1988, I had this idea of making little miniature surfboards with these crazy graphics. Okay. I hadn't done anything like that in my life. And I read in the register that they had this surf museum, this new surf museum in Huntington Beach. So I called up the number that was in the newspaper article, and evidently I spoke to Natalie. Okay. Told her, hey, I'm an artist. I make this cool art. Could I display it inside the museum? So she told me to come on down. So I come down and I bring one of my earliest pieces that, it was before I even had a job for any of my work. So I brought in one of my pieces and she loved it and put it on display on an easel inside the museum and gave me a Surf Museum t-shirt. And then I brought a Polaroid with me, and this is what a copy of the Polaroid that Natalie took of me inside the Surf Museum that day in October '88. So I kind of owe it to her big time for being the first person to kind of believe in me and my career and everything. And after I met her and had that thing on display, I got my actual first job for making little mini surfboards. Her daughter was running an outfit. She was working with an outfit called Peer Pressure.
Peer group.
To
rebuild the Huntington Beach Pier.
Well, yeah. they had a little banquet and needed some surfboards for centerpieces. Uh-huh. Okay, so Julie contacted me, so I got my first real job of making little surfboards for your.
Oh my goodness!
Here is one of them. This is one of the 10 or so that I made, and that she ordered. I just wanted to show you.
Oh my gosh!
And I hung onto one of them.
Good for you.
And Julie would like to say a few words.
I would, and thank you everybody. Natalie has been a fixture in downtown Huntington Beach since 1976, actually, when we moved here. She became a realtor and then started Pure Realty downtown and was on the downtown redevelopment agency. She just had a vision. She fell in love with the surf culture. My mother was a Canadian farmer and never stepped foot in the Pacific Ocean, but just loved everything about the culture, the people, and the warmth and generosity of the surf. Just the surf culture. So she wanted to make sure it was preserved and celebrated for a long time. So, and it was a decades long commitment for her. Even as she passed, this was a huge commitment. So thank you. Sorry, thank you everybody for continuing this and this memorial for her. I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm hollering to my mom.
We all miss her.
We all miss her. She didn't know a stranger. She would remember your name. You must remember your name.
There she is.
There she is.
With her new.
Julie,
with her
this
new
is
plaque.
Okay. There you go. Wow, yellow is her favorite.
For friendship.
For friendship. Nothing to a stranger.
There we go.
Yay. How lovely. Yay.
Well, that was a great unveiling by Dave Reynolds there. He worked so hard to do that beautiful new plaque. And I'm here with Brett Barnes, who's been around with Natalie. It goes back way to the beginning because she talked you into it, right? To come on as the chairman. And we're talking about a couple of decades now.
Yeah, when we opened Duke's back in 1998, after a few years, she came and sat
on a bench at the entrance to Duke's and waited for me, and then sat on the bench for an hour trying to talk me into coming on board here and being the chairman. And I said, I'm too busy, I can't do that, I don't have enough time for that. And then I finally acquiesced because she wasn't going to leave. And then a couple years later, I roped you in to come and help me out. And it's been awesome since then with the reboot back in the day with Cindy, and then all the exhibits we've done since then have been top notch, and we're just continuing to evolve. So it's been really good.
Well, and our reinvention with the after COVID too, we really turned the place back around into acting like a museum.
Yeah, and then Natalie sadly passed. I was in San Diego at work, doing something for work, and I got the call from Julie and said, you got to come up. And I walked into her house and held her hand, and she said, please take care of the museum. And 15 minutes later, she was gone. So after she passed, I felt the commitment to make this thing continue and happen, and that's why you're such a big part of it, and I appreciate that.
So you're stuck here for life now, mate.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. But, being from Canada, I think she just got the surf culture more than most people get it, and she's been a blessing to our community, and we appreciate her efforts.
We're going to go and look at some stuff from back in the 25th anniversary of the museum.
We're here this afternoon for me to have an opportunity to present a resolution from the California State Senate to the Surfing Museum. Resolution from the California State Senate recognizing you for all the good work you do, the residents and members of the community that come here to visit the museum. People from all over the world visit this world-class surfing museum. So congratulations on 25 years, both of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Natalie, congratulations.
Thank you. The reason that this museum has had so much good fortune and good luck and whatever is because really it was built with love, not great knowledge.
It's Natalie's birthday tomorrow. So, we all love to do this, but let's make all the neighbors over on 8th and 9th Street hear us. And let's sing happy birthday to Natalie. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Look who I found, Jody McKay. Now listen, we just lost Don McAllister, and I don't think anyone served on the board of directors of the museum longer than you, because I was looking at some old newsletters today, and your name goes way back to the beginning.
Yeah, it does, PT, absolutely. Well, actually, 91 is when I met Natalie. My son was in junior All-American football, and we needed a place to have the meetings, and she said, come on down, you can have them here, and as soon as you're off that board of directors, you're on mine. And that was the story of her all around town. I mean, she collected people, she collected souls. She was one of my best friends in life and a mentor to all of us. I'm so proud of her work, and you can feel her every time you come in here. Her spirit is here, it lived on, and that was really all she wanted in life, is to maintain the history of this town and of the surfers and the surf industry, which she didn't know anything about until she moved here. And look what she's done. And still today, 9 years later, we're here celebrating the woman that made it all happen. One of the things that I adore most about this lady is the fact that she is a great leader. She touches you in the heartstrings, pulls you in, and inspires you to do better in life, to do service to your community, and to be kind to other people. And so I think all of us are a little bit different. I know I am. We wouldn't be who we are today if it wasn't for this lady who drug us in and loved us up and challenged us to think outside the box.
I'm here with former Mayor Barbara Delglaze, and Barbara, you must have had some run-ins with Natalie through the years.
Well, the gift that she gave me and many others, first of all, she was a realtor, proud realtor. What I learned later was that she came from Canada and had this passion about surfing. So she came to the right city, and God bless her, she was able to inspire people to have a surfing museum. And look at the difference this has made. I guess what I appreciated about her is she could do the job. We had that connection for sure. But talking about surfing, talking about a surfing museum, making it work is really the fact that we're standing here today, right?
Yeah.
Because you know especially, not everybody can do this.
Well, it's making a museum work is bringing people together, and she was good at doing that. Okay,
So-
I think we've got one more person to catch up with, Julie, the daughter, and because we should close the show with her, because
With
I
Julie.
got a real good question for her.
This is our 23rd anniversary of having a formal board and working really, really hard. And Beasley was our first elected executive officer. We had to have a secretary, and there she was.
Appropriately, we're going to close the show with Natalie's daughter, Julie, and because we were at the ceremony, we have some great stuff of her, but I really wanted to touch base with the fact that, what do you remember when it was all starting to happen? And this sign was from the Surf Theatre, remember? And this was on Walnut.
Oh, Walnut, the
And
first little tiny.
and it made it all the way here.
I know, that's so amazing because that was back in the mid-'80s, and it was the little tiny place that they'd opened in Walnut. And so it's great to see all these years later that it's back again.
So when your mum was talking to you about her vision, I mean, how would she explain that to you?
Well, you know, it's pretty crazy for her, but George Farquhar, I mean, the people downtown are just so amazing, and George Farquhar was a good friend, and after he had passed, she remembered all of that memorabilia. So that's got to be a waste. That's just sad. And my mother was a collector of things and people, and she just thought that this needed to be preserved. And she was really very interested and very, very dedicated to that.
Julie, that one special day, though, when we walked the pier in memory of your mum, you must remember that pretty clearly.
Yeah, the paddle out. It was quite an amazing day for sure. And Sumo did the eulogy, and he sang for us. And then we all gathered out on the first leg of the pier and had another induction, and all the surfers were below, and we scattered her ashes. It was a surreal event. It was amazing. It was wonderful. It was a celebration, and she would have been.
Well, now Sumo's up there hanging out.
I know, and Pig, and all of her old friends, and so that was quite an honor for her, and it was an amazing celebration. And then the Hilton did a lovely job of doing a big. Event celebration of her life. So yes, I remember it like it was yesterday.
That brings to end another edition of Surf Scene with PT. We're going to be leaving from the museum, and if you want to come by and check out the biggest surfboard in the world, it's right here. Famous exhibit, the renovated museum. What do you think, Natalie? I mean, could you ever imagine? Look, we look like a real museum now.
Well, you know, these are such wonderful upgrades and changes. We wanted to do the gorgeous black ceiling when we first started, and for some reason we couldn't do it, but I'm sure glad you got it done now. It's really magnificent.
It's all a reality now. Look at how beautiful this is, and think that, 25 years ago, you'd end up with wood floors. Look at these wood floors.
Well, we had a piece of a wood floor. I love the wood floors. I love the ceiling. I love the artwork is wonderful. And look at all my old friends here. Oh, it's a really special night. I'm glad we had this renovation. It's time.
Well, we're so glad to have you here tonight.
It's my blessing, I'll tell you.
There's more of that great stuff to come, but I'm going surfing right now. There's waves out here.